Hello, everybody.
Good morning.
Hey.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yes.
Happy New Year.
All
right. Everything's going okay, I guess, on my end.
Well
how
rested?
about you all?
I can't complain. Starting the year out good.
I thought I was going to get more rest. That didn't happen.
Yeah. Welcome to the holidays, right?
Yeah. It never works out that way. You think you're going to have 2 weeks off, you can get lots of rest. And no, if anything, you get less rest.
Hey, automatic beats.
Good morning.
How are you in 2 streams at once, Beats? We appreciate it, though. Definitely appreciate it.
Yes, indeed. Awesome.
And anybody on my channel that's watching, there's links for the Matrix Money podcast in the description, so you can just jump to that. Subscribe to it because we're trying to grow that channel. And we also got FF and Crypto Mindset in there as well. Subscribe.
Yep. Hey, Anthony.
Yes.
Welcome.
Good morning.
Whatever Jar said. I mean, if you're on my channel right now and you are commenting and stuff, just hop over to the Money Matrix or Matrix Money, and subscribe and build that up, because we are trying to build this channel up for the new year.
Yes.
So
Yes,
absolutely.
We are.
Yeah.
Links in the description of the live stream, guys.
How do you guys want to? Yeah, how do you guys want to start this?
I can start off with an incentive. If you join the Matrix Money podcast, we're doing a giveaway for the Tangent wallet, and we'll be doing a draw on this channel specifically for that wallet. So I have one. The second one's going to be on the way, and that's one that we're going to be giving out to a lucky listener/watcher.
Yes. Hey, Chris. Welcome.
Good morning. F+. There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
LTD.
Gotta have them.
Yeah, so we got a couple things that we're going to talk about today, right? The Bitcoin ETF is coming up, and we're also going to be talking a little about DePIN and some projects that are out there. Which one do you guys want to start with?
Well, why not the ETF? Let's
in regards to projects or
right?
ETFs. Okay, I mean, let's just do ETF because I feel like that's a hot topic. And yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So T-1 day, right? Tomorrow is the deadline to either reject or approve.
Yes.
So we're almost there. What was interesting, maybe I'll pull it up. Gary had put out a tweet yesterday about safety in crypto. And I thought that was funny because he never really has anything positive to say. I don't even think it's positive, but he still said something. Let me get the tweet. Give me 1 second here.
Are you talking about Gary's tweet or? So
yeah,
I was
Gary
responding to chat.
Well, and
Gary's tweet, yeah, it was.
Gary,
was something.
I didn't even see it, so I'm waiting to see it. What I did see this morning was the CEO of Van Eck kind of like leaked out that approval tomorrow, trading on Thursday.
Ooh, okay.
So
there it is.
Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Personally, I'm at the point where I'm kind of hoping that it gets kicked down the road to March so I can buy more Bitcoin. But that's just me at this point. All right, let me bring this up for you, Jar. Hang on 1 second.
Yeah, it was a thread. I don't even know if this is showing up properly. I have to sign in. Okay, give me 1 more second here. Let me use a different account.
Yeah, not a problem.
Hi from Brazil. Welcome. Appreciate having you here.
Maze Money. Yeah. Hey, what's up? Always love the new people.
Amen to that. Make sure you like and subscribe, guys. Matrix Money Podcast. If you're watching on one of the other channels, the link to jump onto Matrix Money is in the description of this live stream.
So while Jar is signing in, were you talking about the Van Eck Bitcoin ETF?
Well, it was the Van Eck Bitcoin ETF, Van Eck CEO that I saw. There was a tweet from him basically saying, ETF tomorrow, trading on Thursday. I don't see how the hell they're going to get that going like that quick, frankly. But a lot of these places, I don't remember who it was, but I tweeted it out. One of the places that has it might have been VanEck, now that I think about it, has already done like 72 million in seeding.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
they're just ready to rock at this point. Do you got that yet, Jar?
Yes. Yeah. So
Okay.
here it is. Okay. So this is the tweet. It came out yesterday morning, and it's just a thread. And he doesn't usually put out threads about crypto as often. This is just warning the public about the rules and some safety measures that you can take when investing in crypto, protecting yourself against fraudsters. And it's a thread. I think it's about 10 tweets long. There was a lot of nice comments, if you read them in there, of people replying to it. But yeah, he just goes on and he just talks about the safety of crypto. This is a positive thing. Again, this is just speculation, but I think we're moving in the right direction. It seems that most people are saying that we have a 90% chance of an approval. So I'm going to tend to lean that way too, especially if he's going to talk like this.
Right. I mean, an approval is coming regardless. And like I said, to me, I'm at the point where, okay, let's kick that aside and let me get more Bitcoin. But
yeah, I think it's going to get approved as well. There's some other reasons why I think it's going to get approved that I'll save to the end of this as an update on myself and things that are going with me. But I do have an opinion on how this will affect institutions that I kind of want to add into this, since we're even talking about ETFs right now. But where I worked was for a bank that was offering crypto custody services for institutions. And while that is a great feat for maybe 2018, 2019, now that we may get institutional money in through ETFs, institutions don't need to use custodial services anymore. They can get their exposure of Bitcoin through an ETF versus having to go through a custodian and have to worry about the custodian properly securing those keys and all the other issues that occur with doing it that way, which, you're not going to be FDIC insured, right? You're not going to have other insurances that come with a proper ETF. So institutions, unfortunately for the bank that I work for, those institutions that they were hoping to be as clients, if this ETF does get approved, they're going to move their money to those ETFs. They're not going to do the custodial service. And again, that's just an opinion of mine, but I think it's a pretty valid opinion. It makes sense. I had conversations with other people within the company or bank that I work for about this and how it will affect the custodial service. And a lot of them agree with me. They're like, well, it's business. This happens. And the route that we took might not have been the best route. And I have another point to that, again, to make at the end of this podcast here. But what do you guys think about that? About how institutions, not just other retail, your mom and pop being able to throw in this ETF into their 401k or whatever, but what about institutions now getting exposure, a clean way to get exposure to Bitcoin through this ETF?
Yeah. Good morning, Diego. I think the more exposure, the better. I think it helps everybody out. So yeah, to me, it's all positive. What about you?
Yeah.
I agree. I do have a concern that's kind of been in the back of my head, and I'll throw it out in a minute. But because of what you said, FF, what's your thoughts with regard? Now, I get it. I agree. I think they'll move over to the ETF with the majority of the funds. You know what I'm saying? But what about the way they've been trying to attract high net worth clients? So the people who use the bank, they got all their cash in the bank, and now okay, listen, I'm just going to stay with the bank because I want them to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. What do you think about that?
So they're still going to be running through somebody else, right? They're still not necessarily going to be dealing with it by themselves. So your high value individuals, right, and institutions will use a broker, right, to deal with whatever the ETF is. They're not going to go in there like you and I through a Robinhood or Fidelity or whatever you use as your brokerage, and then do those trades themselves. They usually have the broker handling it, their financial advisors, etc. So they're still going to be hands off, but because of the protections that will be offered with having an ETF versus having the coin physically, that's where I believe those institutions and those high net worth value individuals will find value in something like this.
Okay, so you think even they're going to go regardless?
Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
however, and sorry to cut you guys off because I just want to get this out of my head before I forget.
This is new to me.
But I also was hearing through another stream through Chump Change where a lot of people were saying, well, now because the fees that will be associated with these ETFs are so low, people are going to start moving towards the ETFs over buying the quote unquote physical Bitcoin, because those fees when you buy from an exchange are 3, 4, 5%. They're astronomical.
Yeah.
And people believe that the fees on the exchanges will go down to compete with the ETFs, but I think that's not going to happen. Those are two different things. They're targeting essentially two different buyers, right? I think the premium that you have to pay to get that quote unquote physical Bitcoin is going to remain high because, for me, and this again is personal opinion, I think that's worth more to have that physical Bitcoin that I can send to my wallet, hold, custody myself. I personally would still pay the premium to get the physical coin versus, the ETF. But again, that's opinion, but maybe that will be true a couple months from now when an ETF is approved, and then you don't see those fees come down on those centralized exchanges. Anyways, I'm gonna get off my soapbox. I talk too much.
No,
I just
that's
wanted
good.
to get it out.
That's really good. I like hearing your perspective. Honestly,
Yeah.
because this ETF thing has been going on for so long, I kind of dialed out and I haven't really been paying attention to what the current talk is about this approval and that insurance component that goes along when you get the ETF and other aspects of it versus buying it on exchange and self-custody. I understand the argument, but I never really dug into it too deep. So I like hearing about that. Thanks for giving that out.
Well, no problem. And to just kind of play off of that, a lot of these amendments to all of these ETF applications now have a cash out component. So in other words, the original thought process was you'd hold the physical Bitcoin, and if you wanted to cash out your ETF, whatever you had in the ETF, you'd get Bitcoin. That's no longer the only way out. Okay. They now are able, like with all these other ETFs, to pay you out in fiat, to pay you out in US dollar in this case.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Didn't know that.
Now, and here's, I would love to hear you guys' opinion on this. That change or those changes have spawned me to think this, and maybe I'm just a conspiracy theorist and feel free to tell me I am. You know how like the US government and other governments around the world at different points throughout history, I'm using my air quotes because they don't like when you say confiscated, but we're going to put confiscated gold. Okay. It was centralized. It was in banks. It was easy to confiscate. You know what I'm saying? It was easy to take control of it.
Yeah.
Now that you have serious amounts of money in ETFs that are supposedly holding Bitcoin, what stops them from doing the same thing with these centralized entities?
Yeah, that's true. That makes sense. There's nothing really.
I mean, am I a conspiracy theorist? I mean, feel free.
No. If they have they could do what they want basically. If it's in the United States, it seems like they could just lean into whatever control and power they have. Yeah.
It worries me. I'm not going to lie. I was pro and still not against necessarily ETFs, but it gives me pause. It really does give me pause at this point, as we're on the precipice of it here.
Yeah, I would say yes. That's a negative, right? But in the same essence of crypto, it's still decentralized. That only affects one aspect of the whole market, which is, that ETF area of it. you know,
Yeah, I think he's just
one,
saying that one area is the area that they can fully control if they have
yeah,
wanted.
yeah,
And
within
think
their
about
buy.
the amount of Bitcoin that will actually be in
Yeah.
that area. Like
Yeah.
I'm talking
Yeah.
percentage wise.
It could be sizable
Yeah.
over time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
FF, I was really interested to see what your thought process was, because I mean, you're in this to some degree in this industry that is affected.
Yeah.
Well, that's affected by a lot of regulation.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah,
see
we
what I
are.
mean? So
Yeah. I mean, that's
why I was like, please, call me a conspiracy theorist. Go. It's okay, Keith. You're good. You know what I mean? But
no, and what you're saying makes sense, right? But I think for our viewers, since I don't think we have any big wig players out there, I don't think it affects us too much. But everything that you're saying is I agree with,
Yeah.
and it makes sense. I don't know. I would love to talk about these conspiracies even more, and still talk about like how this will impact us, because like Jar said, we only have one more day before we find out if it's approved or rejected, and everybody's on the same page with, we're thinking it's going to get approved, or at least a couple, if not all of them.
Yes.
But I think we should probably, with your hard stop, Jar, we should probably hop into DePIN, because
Yeah.
we
If you
need
don't
you on
mind,
here
let
for
me just
DePIN.
switch over here.
Yeah. That's a good point.
We were
And we'll-
talking actually before we started the stream, just internally together, guys, and I was saying that Jar is the DePIN king, because he
No.
really is.
No.
He may not, admit to it here, but he is the DePIN king. He knows his stuff when it comes to decentralized physical infrastructure networks.
That's
is
what
that
it's
correct?
called. Yeah.
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 So take it away, and then I'll obviously talk about my experience with DePIN as well. But go ahead, Jar.
I'm going to talk about the only win I have that's big, and that's going to be Demo. Everything else is still so new. I've lost money on many projects. This one, for whatever reason, I got in very, very early. Basically, when they released, I was part of the beta. I worked with a third party that they have called Smart Car, which is fleet management. And because the SUV that I had uses the smart software that actually is capable of installing the Demo or connecting to the Demo network, I was able to test that out right from the get-go. So it was really interesting. It gathers a lot of driving data, anonymizes it, and then it's banked up to sell. They're building a database. It's a really interesting project. You can buy I think they're sold out. Let me just check out what's going on here. They have a couple of components. So this is the car app that I was talking about. There's an application that can connect to your car smart software. And then they have two different devices. This is the original one, which is AutoPi. It's basically a Raspberry Pi that you're plugging into your ODB port. And then you have the low cost one, also plugs in. These have a built-in SIM card that connects to a cellular network right now. And that's how they're exchanging data. I think they might also be using the Helium network. I don't know if that's already launched or if that's going to happen soon, which is a really good use case for DePIN in general, of the actual network being used for its main purpose. So that's to connect to devices and share data that way. So Demo is one of those ones that worked out, but there's plenty of other projects. You feel free to jump in, guys, whenever you want to, and I'll just give you a quick overview of
I'm going to jump in now
with
this one, since you started with Demo.
Yeah.
Demo is the only DePIN project that I am in, and I have made all my money back from Demo, which is great. I know,
Awesome.
again, not financial advice. We have to disclaim that all the time, but Demo has been great, to a point where after I made my funds back with the Demo AutoPi, I got the macaroon, and the macaroon is also great. I made a video on that, but you don't need to watch that video because I'm going to explain a little bit here. But I know there's a lot of people that say, well, why would I buy the macaroon when I'm only getting 1/3 of the reward, when I can get the full rewards with the Demo AutoPi? Well, if you use the macaroon for 36 weeks and then get the maximum amount of reward that you can get, you end up actually getting 5 nights instead of 3/9, right, of the reward. So instead of getting 1/3, you're getting a little bit more than 1/3 of the rewards for a fraction of the price. And like Jar said, you have that option of having this Helium network connected to it, which is not offered on the AutoPi. So we don't really know what they're going to do with the Helium network. The Helium network is large. They have mobile token. I think they have like an IoT token, right? There's all sorts of things that make it very, very lucrative in a token sense, right? Not a fiat sense, to get the demo macaroon. So, again, not financial advice, but if you were to get into demo, I would highly recommend going for the less expensive option, the macaroon, but then still have all the value of the AutoPi and some. That's just my experience with demo. Demo again has been great. And yeah, but in regards to these other projects that Jar is going to talk about, I wish I got into them. That's all I have to say.
Well, we can talk about the one that you just spoke about, which is Helium, and Helium's a network. It's an IoT network. At least it started off as an IoT network. I thought when it launched, it was going to be Wi-Fi distributed for people that want to connect to the network. I didn't clearly understand what Helium was about, and I also don't think their message was very clear. The way they were setting it up, because they called it's still on their website, the wireless revolution. And that's such a general statement that I thought it would be, if anybody wanted to connect to it wirelessly with their phone and connect it via Wi-Fi or some 5G network, which they had originally talked about. I assumed that was a service that they're promoting, but they actually have broken it down into several different components now. So if you bought the hardware device like I did, you might have been pissed off about a year into it when it went down and it didn't seem what it was going to be. And yeah, I still have it connected in my garage. It's making a comeback right now, and because of services like Demo that's starting to use that network, and as more jump on, it's going to get interesting. The next one that I'm going to talk about. Oh wait, we can just also pull Crank over here.
Crank, yeah.
Crank is another one, very similar to what Helium was doing with IoT devices. And you can mine both assets on the same device. So I have one of the rack miners, version 2. And if you update the SD card and pop it in there, you can mine on the Helium network and Crank as well. They're two completely separate networks, but the data goes through to each of them. Crank is on the Cadena network, and Helium is on the Solana network. So there are two different chains that are involved here. This is interesting, though. If you want to get involved with the IoT platform, this is a good one that just recently launched. It just recently went public, I think just a couple of weeks ago. So that's a one over there. And then, since we're still on cars, let me pull over this one. This one's called Map Metrics. This one, I'm honestly not sure what's happening with this project. I can't find the coin listed on any major platforms like CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap. I know they're doing some changes. I'm not too sure if you guys know anything about this one, but they're updating.
I've heard of it.
Yeah,
but
that's about it.
Same with you. I haven't heard any sort of updates from Map Metrics at all in regards to being offered on the exchange or anything like that. So
yeah,
I wish I got into it.
I know they moved over to Solana, and they're going to relaunch a new version of their token. I have the device. It seems like it's still pulling data and still earning the MMAPS token. So something's still happening on the back end, but they've been very quiet. I don't really know anything that's changed with the program, but it still seems like it's live. It hasn't faded or died yet, so that's a good sign. The only con I see to this device where Demo is plug and play. Once it's installed, it's up and running. It's running in the background. You don't even have to worry about it. It's just collecting data. This one, you have to actually launch the app. You have to connect to the SPT device. And once you're connected, only then will it collect data. And it only collects, I believe, 20 kilometers of data per day as a maximum. So if you're going for a long drive, it's only going to get the first 20K. And then everything after that, you're not really getting paid for. So that's just something to keep in mind with this one. Yeah. And then another car one, I'll pop up over here. is Hive Mapper. So this one, the Honey token, has taken off. It's doing really well. It's a dashboard camera that is taking Street View images, and I believe they're trying to build something like a Google Street View, where they're mapping the entire country with these cameras. So that's a very good practical use of seeing how Web3 is being implemented with these physical projects. And I like them as well because there are something tangible that you're going to hold in your hand and you actually see what it translates to. So when I see projects like that, I get excited about it. Natix,
Yeah.
yes, that one's coming out soon, right? Is that already launched?
I don't know if they've launched any actual token yet. I think Chris did put a comment in the comments about that, but I know personally I use Natix. I don't know exactly what I'm recording when I use it, right? So there's an application for Natix that you have to download. A positive about Natix is like if you do use somebody's code, like you can share a code when you're downloading. I think you get a free like either 10,000 or 100,000 tokens. I think it's 10,000 of their tokens. And basically it's pretty much just like Hive Mapper, except for again, I don't know what they're doing with the data yet. I don't think they've fully disclosed it, but they may have on their website. I did put the website up. Yeah, there you go. And we could take a look at this because it is brand new. Yeah. And I as you, Jar, you want to get into these things when they're new, take the chance, right? So I think we should take a little dive into NatX while we have some time because it's extremely new.
Yeah, that sounds good. It's definitely something I'm evaluating. This came across my board a couple of times. So
nice.
I'll be looking into it and maybe do a video on it when I understand it a little bit better. One thing, like I know not everyone has the benefit of having a second phone for projects like this. But because a lot of this stuff is so new, and I don't like exactly what you had said, FF, is what are they doing with the data and how are they collecting it? I have no clue what's going on the back end. So I actually have a second phone that I use, and I install all my crypto apps that are a little bit unknown on this device because I don't like it mixing around with my personal stuff. But that's a good security tool to use, or at least a path to use.
Yeah, I was just going to say, is that a security recommendation? Because I like that.
It is. My wife doesn't like that I have a second phone, but I think it's just crypto. I swear, it's only crypto.
Yeah, it's not any of your bottom Bs or anything like that.
I got to jump off soon, but I just want to throw out a couple more that are out here. We have Wingbits. This one came up. I tried to pick up an antenna. I actually tried to get into this one a couple months ago. It just seemed a little bit harder to buy a hex. It's basically similar to Helium, where you're purchasing an antenna and you're gonna own an antenna inside a hex of a region that you live in, and you're collecting flight data for that area. And they're creating a network of flight data, a decentralized form of it. It seems interesting. I haven't gone into it yet. I still need to buy an antenna for this one. I don't know if it's still in beta. I think it's still in beta. I don't know if it's been publicly released yet, but it's an interesting one to note. So I'll make sure I add some of these links in the description. So for users later on, if they want to take a look at it. And then I'll briefly and quickly talk about two other projects. This is the one I just installed in my backyard. It's Weather XM. It's collecting weather data. This is still in beta right now. It hasn't launched yet. But it's going to be a weather network that they're trying to build with many, many different, I believe there's a couple thousand stations already out across the world during the beta phase. So it's growing pretty rapidly, and it looks like it's taking off again. And if you want to mine it in parallel assets, Fry Crypto also has a weather miner. And you don't have to use the Fry Crypto's weather miner. You can use the Weather XM one and use the API tool to convert over to the Fry Crypto and earn 2 tokens at once. So you're dual mining with this device. I like Fry because they're experimenting with this. I know maybe you guys have some opinions about Fry, but they're definitely doing a lot of interesting things, especially when it comes to dual mining. They have the dual miners for camera, weather, bandwidth, and I think they're also doing the ITOX Pebble. That's another one that they're looking at dual mining soon.
Nice.
So a lot of interesting things coming out right now. And I think 2024 is going to be the DePIN year. I think a lot of things are going to happen big in this community. And that's sort of why I'm focusing more in this sector right now.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you, Jar, with that. I do have some opinions, not bad opinions on Fry. I just wish I never canceled my order when it comes to getting some Fry DePIN hardware. I'm impatient. That's all it is. So I had canceled, and now I'm like, okay, well, do I try getting one again? Is it too late, or what should I do? So I might hop into the weather ones that you've recommended.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. I'll give you some contact info if you're interested in that. Maybe you can.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Jar, did you fix your issue you did on your last short? Did you fix the
installation?
Yes.
Okay, so it needs something smaller than a 2-inch pole. So the Fry weather miner is 2 inches. It goes on perfectly. I'm a nerd. In my backyard, I have cameras strapped to this pole. I have an access point in my backyard. I have connectivity that you can connect to my house blocks away. It's way more than what you need, but you can get my Wi-Fi signal. I try to get this weather miner on it, and it's just too big, so I use some zip ties to pull it together. It's a really batch mocked up job, but I put a post out on Twitter, and someone recommended me a pole adapter that just takes it from a 2-inch pole to a 1-inch, and I can just get it from Home Depot and strap that on. So I think I'm gonna be fixing it, but we're gonna have a storm today, so I don't know.
Yeah, not today, right?
Yeah, not today, but I have a workaround right now.
There you go.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right,
so
Jar.
With that, I gotta jump out. I'm gonna say goodbye.
Take care, man. Appreciate you
being here, Jar.
I'll be watching the stream, but I won't be able to participate for a little bit here.
Yeah, no problem, dude.
No problem, man.
We appreciate you.
All right, guys.
Absolutely.
Take care.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.
Yep, take care.
Right.
So it's just you and I. And
That's
I'm
right.
not
Down
dropping
to
off at
us.
10:30 like I normally do. So yeah. So what's up?
Yeah. Well, I've got a few. You and I have talked about this off air. I have on my channel. Matter of fact, after I'm done with this live stream, I'm going to another one. Not a live stream, a recording session with the author of the Bible and Bitcoin. If anybody has not or has read the book, sorry, I'm trying to make it where you can see it. I'm interviewing him, so that interview will be coming out on my channel soon. I have an interview with Joel Valenzuela. He has for those on Twitter, I think he's the Desert Lynx is his handle, and I forgot what his YouTube channel name is, but basically this guy has been living on crypto for nothing but crypto for like the last 10 years. And I've been wanting to interview him, and he is really making a push to try to help people get out of our current system because of everything that's going on. And so I was fortunate enough to be able to schedule an interview with him, and so those will be airing on my channel. That's the big stuff I've got going on so far this year. What about you?
That's some nice big stuff. I mean, before we hop into, what about me? For the people who just heard all these cool updates on interviews that you have, which I think is awesome. I wish I could do some interviews. I also don't reach out to people to do interviews, so that's my fault. But any, ETA on when some of those might come out, not exact dates, but some sort of ETA.
They will definitely air in January.
Okay, in January.
But it depends how the editing goes. I'm a one-man band, you know what I'm saying?
I hear you. Me too.
So it depends how the editing goes. But my goal is to get each of those out within the next 2 weeks. So nice. That puts me to middle end of January at the latest. If I can do it beforehand, absolutely, because and honestly, I'm hoping to do a little bit of promotion with those videos and try and get a bigger swath of people to see those interviews, because I think they're important. I really do. I really do.
I think so too. I mean, living off of crypto is a dream probably for a lot of people who are
Yes.
watching and listening in right now. I mean, if we could live off our crypto, wouldn't that be amazing? Especially for the
Yes.
miners who are
Yes.
basically mining it, right?
Yep.
Doing that proof of work or whatever proof of whatever you're doing, and then being able to just take that and then just live off of it. That's awesome. And whoever created that book, I'm gonna probably buy it and read it. Hopefully before your interview. I know there's a couple other Bitcoin books that I have scattered around the house that people have bought for me for like Christmas or for my birthday that I've read. I need to pull them out and see if any of those authors are people that you could possibly interview in the future as well. Just to sort of continue with it, right? If you get one,
Well, and
you might as
that's
well.
my plan. That's my
you
plan.
know, keep it
You know
going.
what I'm binging right now is well, I'm binging the podcast right now. I'm actually planning to order the books this week. Is the Bitcoin Standard podcast. That's from Saifedean Amos. He wrote the book, The Bitcoin Standard, wrote the book, The Fiat Standard, and Principles of Economics, if my memory serves. He basically looks at all of this through an Austrian economic lens. Let's put it this way. From what I've listened to in this podcast so far, I wish I had read the Bitcoin Standard when I first got into the space, because that's about when it was published. And I think it would have saved me a lot of headache and lost money through the course of my journey to being here right now. So he's on my list to reach out to once I read a little bit more of his book. But the podcast is really good, but there's a lot of episodes. I'm just getting into 2 years ago episodes at this point. So, but I want to hear them all. So that's why I'm binging it, Hopefully that's one of the books you have.
It possibly could be. I kind of want to run upstairs to my little library that I have of books and stuff and see if I could find it really quick, but I also don't want to step away and have you be there by yourself. So even though you handle being by yourself very well, because you have been doing this for a while, but I'm not going to do that to you.
I appreciate
that. Updates for me. So video wise, I think I posted this before that I'm not going to do long form as heavily as I did before, where I'm like trying to pump out something every week, every 2 weeks, try to pump out, updates every week that aren't things that I would actually watch. I'm trying to take my time with videos, even though speaking of updates with long form videos, I will have one coming out hopefully by the end of this week. Because I'm kind of time crunched to do it by the end of this week, because it's from Ballet again. Greater Good knows about this because he actually won the last Ballet giveaway that I had. With this one, unfortunately, I can't do a giveaway with it, but I will have another Ballet video where they've introduced the new, basically a new wallet. It's actually pretty nice. I have it right here, but I don't want to show you guys now. I'll wait for the video, obviously, so you guys click on that video and watch it. But that's what's going on with me. It's going to be more shorts. Again, I think my shorts are funny. Not everybody thinks
your shorts are funny.
Are funny. I made one on Gary Gensler. You could probably bring it up actually if you want to. CryptoCoin Mindset from my channel. I don't think it has anything copyright infringement from it. It's like a slowed down song, so it shouldn't be anything. It doesn't have too many views yet, but I know it's probably going to blow up in some time. But that's what I'm focusing on, guys. I'm focusing on shorts. I think that is a spot where, I see a lot of my fellow YouTubers doing explanations and updates on their shorts, but I feel like that stuff should be saved for your long form, where you're explaining things in detail, updating in detail, because that's when I go to your content when I want full detail, full attention. Shorts, I just want to watch something really quick, laugh. If I had a bad day, swipe up, do that thing really
and then
quick.
go.
And then just go. But go ahead, play this one.
All right. Yeah. I love that.
So yeah, it's super quick, but again, I think it's absolutely hilarious. There was actually just backstory on this. This judge was laughing at this guy saying,
Yes.
I'm still gonna give you time or whatever. And then the guy was like, no, F that. I'm gonna attack this judge, which is something I do not recommend, guys.
Yeah. We're not recommending none of that here.
If you're in that situation, please respect the system and do not attack the judge. But I thought it was absolutely hilarious with this whole ETF thing coming on. So yeah, that's my update. I do have one more final update that I saved for the end that goes back to the whole ETF thing. And it's kind of like a bittersweet one. So guys, listen in here. The bank that I worked for, if you can follow how I'm explaining this out, worked. I no longer work for them anymore. I was doing cyber threat intelligence for the bank. I also worked for regulations, like compliance and regulations, all crypto related, right? For the bank. But with this ETF looming, and again, like with what I said earlier, you can rewind this and listen to, my theories on that. I'm thinking that, and then also what I know about, how many clients we have and how much money is actually into our custody service that I can't actually say right here. Right. That service is not as lucrative to the bank with these ETFs looming. So they removed my role, so I no longer work there. There's some other issues too with my boss, but we're not going to go there. Not going to throw her under the bus. But I think ultimately it's because of that ETF looming. And this is why I truly believe that it's going to get approved, because, again, I'm truly in the weeds when it comes to this crypto stuff. So with that being said, I should be able to focus on YouTube a little bit more, because I'm not working for the bank anymore. It doesn't mean that you guys have to be like, oh, FF, like you really failed this time. Like, how are you going to pay for your mining and your bills and stuff like that? I still have other forms of income, so I am absolutely okay. So please don't worry about me. Please don't try to send me stuff because I don't need it. Unless you want to send me stuff, then I will take it. But I'm just, just want to be open and honest with you guys that that sort of pseudo insider information that I had before, I don't have that anymore. But I also just want to state along the lines of the ETF that I do believe that if not all the ETFs getting approved, at least one of them will get approved, and that will affect not just retail, like us, call ourselves retail, but institutional investors, high value clients. It's making a huge impact even for the bank. So they've removed some people who work in crypto for the bank, like myself. So yeah, that's my update. That's why I wanted to save it, because I didn't want that to sort of like take over, because that's kind of like a big event, life kind of.
Oh, that's a life event right there. Yeah, absolutely.
It is a life event. So, but that's what's going on. So the only thing I got to worry about right now is like, how the heck am I going to get like insurance and stuff like that? That's something that,
right,
it's not crypto related, but just in the
life
States
related. That's life related. You got to take care of your life.
That's something we got to worry about is like health insurance. So that's what I'm worried about right now. But other than that, I'm good.
Well, you know what? It now, your answer when I asked that question now makes a lot more sense. So yeah. But I still appreciate your insight, and whether or not you're still there, you have history there, you have knowledge from there, and that still gives you a unique perspective, the way I see it, in whatever it is we're discussing, for that matter. Never mind just the ETFs. My humble opinion.
Yep. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah. So I don't really know what to even say after that. That's why I wanted to save that to the end, because I'm like, that's just like a bomb drop.
Yeah.
moment,
That's like
right?
the mic drop. Yeah. Mic drop.
But again, guys, like I think I said it earlier, you know, expect better quality videos from me. Expect more videos on Matrix Money. That's why we keep saying like and subscribe to this channel, because I will have more time now to actually focus a little bit. Don't sign an NDA,
I know.
right? Unfortunately, they made me sign a whole bunch of things. I even like developed something for them, and I'm not a developer for them, right? Like my roles was compliance and regulation and also cyber threat analysis. But because I have a developer experience, they wanted me to develop some automated thing for them. I can't even take whatever I develop away. It's all the company owns it.
Yeah,
Or
it's
the bank,
proprietary to
bank
them.
owns it. So like, and the only way you're going to get paid is you have to sign those NDAs and you have to sign whatever agreements in the beginning. So it is what it is, and they can have it. Because the talent is all up here, right, guys?
Amen.
So,
Amen.
but yeah, going back to subscribing to this channel, like subscribe to Matrix Money. We have a lot of plans for it in the future, and yeah. Any other conspiracies before we drop off Crypto Coin Mindset? Again, I love conspiracies. Not that I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I love like hearing them, and then also, you know, thinking critically about them, not just believing everything that I hear. But
Well, listen, what people call conspiracy theories, especially these days, is just critical thinking skills. That's
yeah.
all it is. You know, when you actually say, wait, why is this? You know, but to answer your question, I mean, I don't have anything immediately at the top of my head here, but I will ask you this. When we were talking in the back end, you had mentioned you want to talk about Orbit. Do you still want to do that?
Orbit.
The Orbit hack?
Oh, boom. Yes. Orbit hack. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I can bring something. I can bring up that information I found if you
bring it
want to
up.
take the lead on this, because honestly, you telling me about it was how I heard about it. And so
Yeah, so the Orbit hack is a pretty big thing, and the reason why, you know, we're not hearing about it, one is that people don't really report on FUD, as they like to say, or bad news as much
Yep.
anywhere in the space. So you're not going to hear about this $80 million loss on a cross-chain bridge. Again, if you've been in this industry, which a lot of us have been in, you know, crypto for a while, you know that bridge hacks are a thing. Even
Right.
Vitalik has been quoted saying that he doesn't like bridges because they're the security risks that are associated with bridges. But what makes this hack interesting is that there was a security researcher firm known as Match Systems that did some digging around and found out that basically whoever did this was also associated with the CoinsPaid and CoinsEck hacks previously, like a couple months ago. And the individuals or the threat actors who hacked CoinEx and CoinsPaid, which was again a multi-million-dollar hack that, you know, I reported on a little bit, but again, not too many people reported on, was the Lazarus Group, which is a North Korean group that is known for wreaking havoc in the crypto sphere. So
yes,
here they are, you know, again, possibly getting another huge payout. North Korea is, and nobody's talking about it. And again, the reason why nobody's talking about this one again, I don't think I touched on this, but Orbit chain or Orbit bridge is based in South Korea. So unless like you're Korean, even their website is all Korean as well, right? As we know, crypto can be used worldwide, but if your website is in one language and focused in that one area, then those people will use it. It won't be like the people like us. But I thought that this was very, very crazy. And another thing that makes this extremely crazy and why the Lazarus Group is a group not to F around with, I guess, is
Amen.
that they decided to do this on the 31st of January. So New Year's Eve or not January, sorry, 31st of December.
December.
So
Yep.
on New Year's Eve, they were like, everybody is going to be out partying, right? Everybody's going to be celebrating this new year with ETF coming up and Bitcoin halving coming up and all this jazz. Let's go ahead and attack them while they're on holiday.
Right.
And a holiday that is actually respected by all cultures, religions, etc. They didn't do it on Christmas because not everybody celebrates Christmas, but they chose to do it on December 31st. So
Yep.
again, that kind of shows you where their mind is as a threat and a hacker. I mean, it's crazy. That's kind of all I wanted to add with this Orbit bridge. I mean, we could talk about, you know, the other bridges that Lazarus Group has hacked in the past, or has been attributed to hacking in the past, like Harmony Bridge. I think the Harmony Bridge was associated with.
There's a litany.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of that was associated with, I think, Axie Affinity.
Yes.
Just like tons of stuff, guys. You'll go into a deep rabbit hole with this, but you know, look for this stuff as well, because this sort of stuff does still impact us as people who are investors, miners in crypto. You gotta understand, you know, who your threats are, how to properly secure your systems, like Jar was talking about, using a separate phone. May sound crazy to most, but to us, right, using a separate phone for these apps that we have no idea who is behind these apps is actually a pretty intelligent thing to do. So yeah, that's it. Again, I can ramble, I can blabber. I think I'm done with the Orbit Bridge one, but
that's okay.
Yeah,
that rambling is what helps to educate people. FF.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. You know, let's be honest. It looks like we got a couple of comments here. Hold on, let's see what we got
a ton of comments actually.
Yeah, I saw this myself. I mean, good Lord, you know, to have that kind of money to spend to just inscribe something in the Bitcoin blockchain, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that is insane. But if you're a miner, right, those fees, that's good for us.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly. I mean, again, once the reward goes away, it's supposed to be fees, and here you go. You're getting fees out the wazoo already.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's considered a good amount of data on chain. Appreciate you backwards.
Well, but again, it's all about perspective, right? It really is. You have a unique. I feel like Liam Neeson. You have a unique set of skills, and you know, but you do, and
appreciate you.
From that unique set. Guess what? You have a unique perspective. So
yeah, it sucks that like I'm not trying to do more of that for the channel and for the community. I feel like with the more time I have, I should, but I think if Greater Good is still here, he also knows, and you know yourself as well, Crypto Coin Mindset, that like editing these videos as a one-man band is the most difficult thing in the world. Now, for me, I love it because I add comedy to it, but to sit there and edit for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours of the day when I could be, I don't know, working out or playing video games or whatever else, it's like, but yeah, I probably should do some more security, but let's just keep my channel fun for now.
Yeah.
Enjoy the shorts.
We're not pressuring you at all.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, bring those security tips right here to Matrix Money Podcast.
Yeah, and I think that's what I'll do.
Yeah, and everybody gets to do it. And here, just for the back of your head thought, FF, maybe that's our video content. Just throwing that in the back of your head.
Yeah. I'm with it.
Because then it's not just you editing. Now we have a concerted group effort at that point.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
So anyway, but for me, I'm coming up to where I have to get going because I have to prepare for that interview.
Yeah.
So is there anything else you wanted to throw out there or talk about?
No, I just want to thank everybody who always hops in. I want to thank also all the new people that have hopped in that may still be on. Thank you we appreciate it.
We appreciate that. Yes.
And yeah, I'll pass it on to you to
wrap
close
it
us
up.
out. Yeah, close us out, man.
Hey, listen, as the way I see it, I'm going to tell you the same thing I tell people on my channel. I really appreciate you. I appreciate you being here. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you are new. Tick that bell icon, click the all. That way you get notified every time we go live. And like you just heard me mentioning with FF here, hopefully we're going to have more video content coming out as well. So we got a lot of things hopefully expanding here and the Matrix Money podcast over 2024, or at least we got plans. We just got to kind of get them going here at this point. So we appreciate you subscribing and helping to grow this particular channel. Crypto Jar was mentioning prior to us going live that we told you the last live stream we had that we are on a bunch of major podcast players like Spotify, etc. He just told me he uploaded like several episodes now. So you're going to see a lot more of that there. So please look us up there as well. We appreciate that, trying to grow that as well. And before you leave, hit that like button, smash it up. That way we can spread this around. Appreciate that. I don't know, man. That's what I got. Hey, well, thank you, Automatic Beats. Appreciate that. Oh, that was you. Never mind. I guess I should look first, right? Yep. Keep me. I get that, man. When my kids were small. Whew. Anyway, all right. I think that's it, brother. We're gonna do it. That's it.
Yeah.
F
in chat, guys. Later.
Yeah, that's right. F in the chat. Let's not forget that. All right, we're out of here. We'll see you guys next Tuesday, 10 a.m. Matrix Money Podcast. Later.